The most fruitful 3 hours of Jesus' life was his dying on the cross. Now, a lot of people think of Jesus as a great teacher, and they think his teaching and his helping people is the most important thing, but they forget that he was also a priest, and priests offer sacrifice. And so his sacrifice on the cross was more important than any of his teachings. What is your most fruitful hour of the week? Like, what does the most good? Because Jesus' sacrifice here on the cross is made present every time we come to Mass, the Mass is the same sacrifice of Jesus. It's just done in a different way. The Mass should be the most fruitful hour of our week. Now, here's the thing. We often come to this hour very distracted. I haven't noticed it yet, but at the 8 a.m., a lot of people were yawning. And then sometimes we can come to Mass really distracted, so many things in our head. Some of us are actually in physical pain. We come here with that. Some of us come here with actually little faith. And one thing I've heard for years is the parents, they say, as soon as I had kids, it's so hard to pray at Mass. You're carrying your baby, and I can't concentrate, Father Justin. And look, I get it, because it took me 10 years to be able to pray as a priest well. Because I was used to praying like all of you. I could concentrate, but as soon as I became a priest, I have to think about this homily. I have to worry about the choir, the servers, and I couldn't concentrate. But if we can learn to join ourselves to Jesus' love on the cross, then we can pray well. So let's see how we can do it. The Passion today says, from noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. So darkness signifies God's judgment, okay? And so what's happening is that the world has rejected God, it's rejected Jesus' love, and now it's heading into spiritual darkness. And later on in the narrative, there's going to be this earthquake, and the earthquake again symbolizes God's displeasure. When we come to Mass, from now on, don't be surprised if you're in darkness. Agreed? Stop being surprised if you've got darkness in your heart, in your mind, or you encounter darkness around you. That's going to be a normal part of Good Friday. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, that is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus feels totally separated from God. But is he? Now, he feels it. And he experiences the separation that a lot of us feels, but he's not separated from God. He feels it, but he's not. The Father is with him. Now, in the same way, if you feel separated from God, you have to ask the question, are you or not? Because your feelings don't always tell you what's accurate. So if we are separated from God, just ask his forgiveness. Confess your sins, because that's what separates us from God. It's the only thing. Now, let's say we come to Mass, and let's say we've just found out we've got cancer, or someone we love just died, or let's say we're in financial difficulty, and you're in such distress, and it might be like a really dark time for you. Those things don't separate you from God. And Jesus prays, my God, why have you forsaken me? These are the first words of Psalm 22. So this is a psalm of intense suffering. Now let me ask you a question. If I said to all of you, hey, can we all pray the Our Father together? Do we just say, Our Father? No, you say the whole prayer. So when Jesus said the first words of Psalm 22, he is, in a sense, praying the whole prayer. He asks God, why are you abandoning me? But that psalm ends with trust. And so in the same way, if we come to Mass and there's so many distractions, if you can just pray short prayers with intense love, that's what Jesus is looking for. If you can just say right now, like, Jesus, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I trust you. So many things are bothering me now. That is very precious to Jesus. And to all of you, if you're suffering, and then the parents, you come here and you're so distracted, good for you. You're doing the right thing. You're giving Jesus the best you can. When some of the bystanders heard it, when they heard Jesus cry, they said, "This man is calling for Elijah." So they're confusing that word we just heard, Eli, Eli, my God, with the name Elijah. At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. We don't know if the soldiers here are mocking Jesus or not. They might be trying to make it a bit easier on him. They actually might be trying to intensify his pain. We don't know. Now, if they are trying to intensify his pain, it represents something that quite often happens to us. We're going to come to Mass, we're already bothered, and someone around us makes it worse. That hurts. So let's say, like today, you're really bugged by all that rain standing there, and maybe that was a mistake, I admit. It wasn't my fault, it's Patrick May's fault. Just kidding. But let's say it was a mistake and it distracted you. Jesus perseveres. You have to persevere at Mass. Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. The precise words in the Greek are yielded his spirit, meaning he freely chose to give up his life as a sacrifice to the Father. So God is always going to ask us, will you love me, but freely? Now, when we're children, it's normal. If we're living at home and we're a minor and our parents make us go to Mass, good. That's right. That's what good parents do, just like they make us go to school. But when you're an adult, he asks you, will you love me freely? Will you love me even when you get nothing out of it? Will you love me even when it hurts? Will you come to Mass even when there are so many reasons not to? It has to be a free choice. Our culture has conditioned us and lied to us to think that there's so many better things than Mass, like spending time with family. It's good, it's not the best. Or like, I'm going to take an extra shift on Sunday and make Mass secondary. Not good. Or I'm going to play sports, or I'm going to study for a big exam. It's not the most important thing. The most fruitful 3 hours of Jesus' life were his sacrifice on the cross in complete obedience, trust, and love. And when we join ourselves to Jesus' sacrifice at the Mass, no matter how difficult it is, nothing is more precious to God than that.